Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to HVAC for Beginners. My name is Chris, and I am your instructor for this video. And today, we're going to go over, as you can read, key tips to properly maintaining or maintenance of your home system. So this is key tips to properly maintenance to your home system. And what does that actually mean? Well, every year, no matter if it's, fall, winter, spring, and summer, there are key maintenance that you need to do for your home HVAC system to keep it running properly and to actually keep it from having excessive maintenance repairs due to poor or lack of maintenance procedures. And there are some things that you need to do, guys. It's not simply let's put it in and it takes care of itself, because it doesn't. And there's a lot of homeowners and a lot of renters that don't understand that to keep these going, and to actually, if I have any warranty on them, to keep them under the warranty status. Because if a service technician goes out and he sees that you have been showing poor procedures on maintaining your HVAC system, if he notes that in his notes, the warranty company will not warranty it, because he'll make a phone call to the insurance company that is supporting the HVAC system, like American Home Shield is one of them, and they're going to ask that question. Well, have they properly maintained their HVAC system? And then if he says no, well, they're going to deny you the coverage, and then they're going to send you a letter, and then it's going to come out of your pocket, and then any future repairs on it is going to be in question, because one, you've already been identified as poorly maintaining your HVAC system or any of your appliances in your home that American Home Shield would cover. And then they'll probably send another service tech out there to verify what the first service tech said. And it kind of puts a delay in your repair, and you really don't want that to happen to you. So let's go ahead and take a look at what happens and what kind of effect comes along when you do not, or you poorly maintain your HVAC system. So let's take a look. Poor maintenance causes. One, it causes higher consumption, and that means on your power. So higher power consumption, leads to a higher electric bill. Remember, it's not the power that you draw, it's the wattage that you use that actually causes your electric bill to go up. So I'll give you an example. On your outside condensing unit, if the condenser coil gets all clogged and dirty and nasty looking, and I'm going to pop back to the other screen because I actually have a picture of what one looks like. So if you look over in the right hand corner there, that is an extremely dirty condensing unit, and that right there will cause you some serious problems. So one, that will cause a higher power consumption bill. It will increase of maintenance repairs. So I'll throw it out there. I'm going to give you a good scenario so that you would get a good understanding of what I'm talking about. I went out on a service call. I walked up, and this customer, the first thing the customer had explained to me is they had noticed that the summer electric bill prior was around $180, $190 in the hottest part of Texas heat, which is usually August. This year, I get out there, and it's probably, mid-August. They hadn't even gotten their electric bill for August yet. They had their prior one from July. It was $310. It actually had doubled itself, almost tripling itself. So it was 2.5 times its normal rate. And I had to explain to the customer, when you don't use proper maintenance, the key things that you need to do to keep this system from having that high electric consumption or high power consumption on it. And she realized, well, what do you mean? I said, there are things as a homeowner you can do that doesn't require, unless you choose to, a service technician to come out and do those types of maintenance repairs. I said, there are some people that are, elderly, and they, can't do it themselves, and they have us come out once a month. But what we do is most of them put them on a service plan where, they pay a yearly charge, which is about $180 a year. or 200, and we come out free of charge, and we'll do a maintenance request on it. We'll do a visual, and if there's anything that might need a repair or a maintenance upgrade, we'll note it in there, and then the customer will let us know if they want to replace it or not. But if you're able, then there's things that you can do, because guys, these 4 items that I'm showing you right here, you know, high power consumption, increase of maintenance repairs, reduces life of your HVAC system by half, and it will. Yearly cost goes up 40% every year. So every year that you keep not maintaining it, it's going to go up 40% on your electric bill, and it's going to cost you extremely 2 or 3 times on your repair costs, because you put strain and stress on that unit that didn't have to be. You know, and when I went out there and took a look, she wasn't changing her air filters right, which her blower wheel and blower motor were just caked in dirt. Her evaporator was only running at 70% capacity, so it wasn't cooling right. She was only getting 62 degrees of temperature across the supply and the return. So an ideal split return, and what that means is you take a measurement from the return supply and the supply that puts in the air, which is, you have your return air, and then you have your supply gross, which is the air that is supplied to the home. And you take a reading. You should have anywhere from 19 to 21 degree difference between those two. I'll accept 19. I won't go any lower than that. It's acceptable. Some older units just can't push up to 20 to 21. But 19 to 21, that's a degree difference split between return air temperature and supply air temperature. If it's not there, if I got like 14 or 15, yeah, it's not working right. Or if I get even way beyond that and I'm getting 28 or 27, it's not right. That's because of poor maintenance, or the system is getting old and it cannot keep up anymore. And when we're talking about power consumption, I'm talking about wattage. That means increase in watt, increase in amperage, increases in watts. So, you know, the Ohm's law configuration states you increase more if the unit runs more. You're increasing your amps because it's not running into capacity, and that means that motor has to work harder, which increases your wattage and your reading powers. That's why your electric bill goes up. It's because you're putting pressure on a motor and it's working harder than it should due to lack of maintenance. So let's go over a monthly maintenance plan for you. Okay, so if you have a piece of paper, or if you're at your computer and you can open up your Windows or your Office and you want to make a note of that and then print it out and put it up like on your refrigerator or near your unit or anywhere where you'll see it every day, so that you can get a mental feel into your head that this is what you have to do. And once you get it going in your head and you're doing it every month, you know, you'll be set. So let's kind of go over the aspect of your monthly maintenance plan. So I'm going to start with the most critical, and that is your spring and summer. The reason why is you have both of your units, unless you have a heat pump, and it works in the same in the winter as it does the summer. If you have a straight cool system with electric heat or a gas furnace, your spring and summer months are going to be your more critical, because both of the systems are working simultaneously to cool your home. So we're going to start with your indoor unit. You need to change your air filter monthly. And here's something I need you guys to understand when we get down to it. I don't care if you go to Home Depot and you look at it and it says it's good for 3 months. That is not true. That is only based on how well your home is, because each home is different. Homes, some are newer, some are older, some have heat load issues. Some have cracks and open windows where dirt comes in. You have to put it in factor. Do you have children? You have 3 or 4 people and they're coming in and out of the door a lot? Or is it just you by yourself? All these factors make a difference in what that filter is going to look like. The more that door opens up and closes, the more you go through the sliding glass door. If you have a swimming pool in the backyard, the more dirt comes in. If you have animals, cats, dogs, especially long-haired cats and dogs. Yeah, your filter is going to clog up even more because they shed a lot, especially in the spring and summer where they're shedding their winter coat, and you just got hair everywhere. And so that's a big factor. There's so many things that make a play. That's why I say you must check it monthly. Some people would check it every 15 days just because that safety factor is in play for them. They will actually check it twice a month and change it at the end of the month. And what you can do to actually set a plan of action is every month, or the last time you're getting close to the end of your month and you're fixing to mow the lawn for that week, go ahead and mow your lawn and then go ahead and do your maintenance procedure on your HVAC system. Okay. So check your indoor blower motor and your blower wheel. And I didn't spell wheel correctly. That's WHEEL. That's funny. For excessive dirt buildup, you need to also inspect your air grills for dirt buildup. So first, let's go ahead and talk about your blower wheel and assembly. It's real easy. Just take the cage off the front, your doors, and when you do that, there's a safety switch. It'll disengage. Make sure you reach up and turn your power switch that feeds that. I don't care if it's plugged into the wall with a cord or you have a standard style light switch or a breaker. Turn it off. Safety first, guys. Always safety first. Go ahead and take you a flashlight and go in there. You can reach inside the blower assembly, inside the squirrel cage, rubbing your finger across the inside of that blower wheel. If it's excessively dirty, and I wouldn't suggest this, do not try to take that blower wheel out and disconnect all those wires, because if you don't know what you're doing, it's going to cost you more when you call for a service tech to come out to put all that back together. If you think that it's excessively dirty, and you'll tell when you rub your finger, and if you got a big old cake of dirt or you pushed off a bunch of grime onto your finger, that's basically, you can pick it up and it's like a chunk. Okay, it's time for that blower assembly to be cleaned. But if it's not, and it's mild, and you look over on the other side where the blower wheel is exposed because it is vented, it has open areas on that blower wheel to keep it cool. It's not a sealed motor. You can take your vacuum cleaner with a hose and a little brush, and you can go in there and run it and clean the inside of that. Clean the walls, okay? Check for excessive buildup on the indoor walls. It has that fiberglass wall in there. Just be careful not to try to, suck that apart. Go light on it, okay? Just run across it and get that dirt off there. What you can do, if you would like, is get you a light brush and brush across it on the sides, and then get your vacuum cleaner and suck up the excessive dirt that's on it. You can do the same thing inside on the blower wheel with the one that you can hook up to your vacuum cleaner that's got the stem on it. You can reach in there and kind of suck up some of that dirt in there, and it'll help. So these are just maintenance procedures. Another thing, these cheap hog hair filters that you get from the store, like from Walmart or Home Depot, and if you take it and you can pick it up to the light and you can see through it, it does you no justice, ladies and gentlemen. That is just trash. You get 10% protection at best. The rest of that dirt's just going to go right through it. So you're not protecting anything. You're throwing $3 or $4 away every month for nothing, and still causing your system to have poor maintenance. Pleated filters, 3M, Home Depot brand, whatever that you want to trust. You go to Home Depot. If you don't know what a pleated filter looks like, when you grab that filter, it'll be white and it has little waves in it. That is called a pleated filter. Those collect 90% of the dirt and allergens, especially if you have allergy issues, and it will solve a lot of that maintenance problem. Not all air filters. I hadn't seen an air filter yet that's 100%. Not yet. 90% is really good. It'll keep your reduction down, and then that allows you to be able to do that maintenance that you need to do to it to keep that other 10% from affecting it. That's it, that monthly maintenance that we're talking about. Okay, and just keep in mind, each system's a little different. Okay, if you think, and I want you to think smart, not hard, If you think in your mind that it needs a maintenance cleaning at a professional level, that you're like, you know what, I don't feel comfortable doing this, go ahead, and I would suggest getting a yearly maintenance agreement. I know, it's a couple $100, but he will come out, in every part of the season. He'll come out in the fall, the winter, the spring, and the summer, in each session 4 times a year, and he will do that cleaning, and then every month when you're looking, you notice, a little dirt buildup. By the time it's needing a good cleaning again, he's already shown up at your door. And that's important. That's part of a homeowner's maintenance procedure, not just your 30-day, but your yearly. So you have a 30-day that you do, and you have a yearly that the service tech is required to do. And I'll be honest with you, and I'm going to shoot it straight forward to you. Those people who maintain the poor maintenance procedures on their HVAC system will pay 3 or 4 times more every year than that neighbor next to him that has that $200 maintenance agreement with an HVAC system or company, and the maintenance that he does every 30 days. There is a big difference. Big difference. Let's go to the outdoor unit. That one especially. Completely clean your outdoor unit, and I put an R there. Had some typing issues today, guys, so be with me. That's really funny. With plain or what I call plain water or plain water, only. Do not use any kind of soap or dirt on it. Just plain water, guys. And here's the reason why. Soap has grime and buildup on it. You ever washed your hair and it kind of feels kind of funky? That's soap. They make type of acidic chemicals or non-acidic chemicals that you can get from Home Depot for your condenser coil outdoor that you can spray on it before washing it. It'll actually help break down the dirt and buildup, and it's not acidic. Do not use detergent or laundry soap or anything of that nature. It's not going to work, guys. So make sure that's what you're doing. And I do apologize for my misspelling today. It's been a long day. I haven't been getting much sleep all week due to some certain issues, but I'm getting better. But anyway, when you go outside, and I'll give you some examples of what causes the outdoor unit to clog up or have a high electric power consumption. When you're mowing your lawn, there's one thing you can do to help reduce that a little bit, or actually reduce it quite a bit. If you're going to mow and you're fixing to go on that side, the first thing I would do is go to the side of the house that has your condenser and go over to it. It has a disconnect. You can lift the lid on it, turn it off, pull the power off of it, or a switch. That'll shut it down for, maybe 10 minutes of your mowing. It won't hurt the indoor. It might get a little warm, but it won't be drastic. Go ahead and mow that side of that area that's near there, and then go back over and turn it on. The reason why is if you start mowing around it when it's operating, that dirt and grass that you're throwing all over in there is going to get sucked up into the condenser coil and clog it up. And that's the reason why there's a 30-day maintenance procedure on that, because a lot of people do not do that. They'll go ahead and mow across that, or they won't even weed eat around their condenser, and you got all this grass growing around it. Did you know that letting weeds and stuff grow around the condenser reduces air flow that pulls in, because it draws in air from the side and then pushes the air out through the top? Any kind of reduction of airflow across that, it's going to draw your amperage up, and it's going to make everything, your compressor and your condenser fan motor, work harder unnecessarily. So make sure that you maintain proper cleaning and yard maintenance around that, as well as turning the power off if you can to clean all that up. It just makes a whole lot of sense. And I promise you guys, that little 30 seconds that you take to do that will save you a lot in your power consumption and your electric bill. 2, inspect condenser fan motor and fan blades for dirt buildup. So when you're washing it, If you turn the power off, you have to disconnect, turn the power off. Don't watch it while it's running. You're going to, one, spray water up in you. Two, you can put yourself where you can get electrocuted. Turn it off completely. Turn the, unplug the power that feeds to it. Or if you know where the breaker is to the inside your garage or in your home that feeds the condenser, turn it all the way off there. That'll give you precise power protection from being electrocuted. Then go ahead and do some inspection. First thing I would do is look all the way around, see how dirty it is. Okay. Sometimes you might have to undo the 5/16 screws that hold the top of that, and if you, without pulling the wires out, you can actually lift that up and prop you a piece of 2x4 in there to keep it up, and that allows you to get to the inside of the coil as well as reaching the outside of the coil. You can actually start from the inside and wash it all the way down, and that'll allow you to look at your spray and see if it's pushing through. A word of caution: those fins on that are acceptable to bending. Do not use a pressure sprayer on it. Get you one that you can control the pressure. You want mild pressure. You don't want heavy pressure on that, because if you go side to side across that fin, you'll bend them. That reduces, you'll cut your airflow down. If that does happen, they do make a tool that you can get at Home Depot that is called a fan comb that you can run down there and fix it. Or you can take a small screwdriver and bend those back if that does happen. And it's going to happen. It's not a total avoidance, but you can fix that problem. Or if you don't feel comfortable at all, if you want to pay out of pocket every month for them to come out and wash that condenser, which I wouldn't advise, it's highly it'll cost you quite a bit, a service call every time and some labor, when you can physically do this yourself if you just take the time and do it right. Wash all the way around. Okay. Clean your blades. You can, take a small brush across it and you can clean them. Clean the top and the bottoms. Some condenser fan motors, like universal ones, they'll have on the side these little red caps. Those are oil ports. And you can go to a supply house and get what's called spoon oil or thumb oil, as they call it. Has a little tube on it, and you can run it in there, and you can put a little bit of oil in that, once or twice a year, and make sure that motor's oiled. Some are sealed, and you can't do that. This depends on what you're looking. But if you see little black caps or a red or orange, sometimes orange, you can pop those out and you can oil those motors. Okay. So what you're going to do is wash the condenser, make sure your blade motor and the fans are clean. Make sure that your surroundings around that condenser are clean and free of grass and debris and weeds. What also plays a real good range right before you clean it, once you're done, get you a blower, your yard blower, and blow all that stuff around that you've cut away from that. So when it kicks on, it doesn't try to pick some of that up off the ground, because it can attempt to do so. I've seen it do it. So blow what you got out of the way or rake it out of the way, then commence to doing your cleaning. So remember, doing these proceedings and proper maintenance is the key number one factor of longevity of your HVAC system. You'll be surprised if you do this every 30 days, especially the outdoor unit in the spring and summer when you were mowing a lot. Because, we get spring showers and summer showers. That's not going to do the deal. It's not going to clean it. It might clean the outside and you might get a little dirt wash. But you taking that fundamental step and doing the maintenance that you need to do to your home, especially if you're a homeowner. If you own that home, it behooves you to do this. It's going to save you out of your pocket. That means that money that you've saved can go either in the savings or a night out to eat or whatever it is. But if you decide you're not going to do that and you're going to maintain a poor habit, that money, you're just throwing money away. You might as well just take it and throw it in the trash. Or just go ahead and plan for a service guy to come out every month, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to be nickeled and dimed to death because you're not doing that simple procedure. And, the service tech, and I'm like I said, over 28 years of doing this, I don't know how many times I've turned blue in the face repeating myself, do this. And you know what I used to do? And Some of them would kind of get upset at you, others would not. I had a folder in my truck that had a 30-day maintenance procedure list and a check. Basically, it was a checklist that I would give if they were that way, if they were, people who maintained a poor home, I would hand one of those to them. Say, look, if you want to avoid me coming out once a month or every 2 months or every 3 months, I advise you to go by this procedure list. And they would look at it. Oh, there's so much on here. I would say, yeah, there's quite a bit on there. I said, but it's going to take you all of an hour. The indoor-outdoor unit, an hour, 1 hour out of 30 days will save you a lot. And, some people will take the advice, others wouldn't. And to me, it's real hard to compensate the thinking and to complicate my brain, understanding why, the complication of just doing that 1 hour each time. And you're doing it, 1 hour every 30 days. So total of, maybe 4 hours out of the spring and summer, and then maybe one more time in the fall, maybe twice, depending on your demographic, where you live. If you live more up north, winter's going to come a lot sooner. If you live down south, like in Texas where I live, winter's going to come later, so you might increase by 2. But once you get to the point you're not running your air conditioner anymore, you can go out there and do a final cleaning on it, and then don't have to worry about it until spring comes along. And that's when your technician comes out for your spring check right before you have to fire it up. And he'll go over it with a fine-tooth comb. He'll fire it up because it'll be warm enough to fire it up to do pressure checks on it. As long as it's above 75 degrees, you're good to go. And, he'll clean it another time, and you'll be ready for your spring and summer and fall maintenance. So, guys, make sure that you get you a plan of action. You can go online and there's so many, type in 30-day maintenance plan from HVAC system and it'll pop up. They're all over the place. They might have one that's downloadable and you can print it out and you can put it up on your refrigerator or right next to your indoor unit or out in your garage or by your front door, wherever it is that that you can see it on an everyday basis so that it gets in your head that you're reading it every day. Because once you get it in your head 3 or 4 or 5 times, you're going to start remembering. Once you start doing this every 30 days, you'll have a procedure set in action. So that means you'll have a good habit of knowing, hey, it's the end of the month, before I mow, let me go do all this, la, 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 or let me go ahead and mow and then do it, That means you'll get done with your mowing. You can go inside and cool off while you're doing the inspection on your indoor unit. Then you can go back out and do the condenser and you'll be done with it. So, guys, it's important to follow that. I hope this helps you out. It's simple, basic, and saves you a lot of money in the long run. Until the next video.